Hi there, thank you so much for joining me today. I have another declutter. I wasn't expecting to do one, but I kind of went through my eyeshadow palettes and I figured out that there are some that I just don't really feel like I want anymore, and I thought I might as well go through and do another declutter of my collection. I usually don't do really big declutters where I get rid of like half of everything. Usually I just pick out a couple things from each category to either pass on or get rid of if it's expired. I just did a declutter at the end of May, so it's only been a couple months. And I think I did this last year too, where I had a video talking about the 13 products I decluttered, and then right after, maybe a week or so later, I did another video with 13 more products I'm decluttering. I think I just do it in 2 phases. Don't know why that is. I'd rather get rid of something while it's relatively new so I can pass it on to somebody that'll enjoy it. I don't know what the rules are right now with donating makeup, but hopefully I can donate some products. But yeah, I don't know who's accepting makeup donations at the moment, but I'll just hold on to it until it's acceptable to do so. So from here, I know I want to get rid of one eyeshadow palette, and I don't really know if this will be a big surprise to you. I want to get rid of the Urban Decay Born to Run palette, and this is actually something that I've been reaching for more because it's in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. I was supposed to try to hit pan on this shade right here, Smog, and I have used it a couple times, and I've just tried to reach for some more of the shades that got me really excited about this palette, namely these bottom corner here with the greens and the grays and the blues. And I just realized that I'm pretty much only keeping the palette because I am drawn to like these 4 shades in the corner, maybe these 6 shades. I have other palettes with really pretty oranges and purples, and I have some other blues and greens in my collection that I prefer. I'm holding on to this, and I don't know why. I've had it for over a year now, almost a year and a half, and I've only reached for it under 10 times, so I figure I might as well give it to someone while it's still in really good condition, while it's still new, and move on. And luckily I only paid like $24 for this instead of the full price, so it's not as big of a loss as it could have been, but it's just something to keep in mind. I need to be better about what I bring into my collection and if it's something that I'll realistically use. That's everything for this eyeshadow drawer, but I do have 2 more drawers with eyeshadow and eye products in them, so let's move on to that. Okay. So in here, I do have an eyeshadow palette that I'm considering getting rid of. It's one that I should probably have gotten rid of a long time ago, but for nostalgia reasons, I just never really wanted to part with it, but it's time. And that is the Stila Eyes Are the Window to the Soul palette. And this one was one of my first ever eyeshadow palettes that I bought. It's like 5 or 6 years old at this point. This and the Nude Tude from the Balm, those are the 2 eyeshadow palettes that were like my first ever palettes I owned. And I have hit pan on like half of the shades in here, and I do still really love a lot of these tones. I tried to make myself think that this was unique enough to keep, but truly I do have other shades like this in my collection. And the reality is I haven't used this in almost an entire year, so it's not the essential product that I like to believe it is, even though I do have very fond memories of this palette. So I'm gonna let this one go. It is quite old. I don't feel comfortable giving it away, so I think I'm just going to throw it away, but we had a good run. Now for a palette that I think we're all gonna be surprised about because I am surprising myself by being so willing to part with it, but that is the Tartelette in Bloom palette. I have had this since, I think I bought this in the summer of 2018, and I've hit pan on quite a few shades in here. I think this is a wonderful palette, but once again, I have just moved on to other palettes in my collection. Obviously, I've hit pan on several shades in here. I've gotten tons of good use out of it. So thank you for being so wonderful to me over the years, Tartelette in Bloom, but it's time to move forward. Alright, so those are my 2 eyeshadow palette drawers. Now let's move on to my Eyeshadow Singles and other miscellaneous eye products in my 3rd drawer. Okay, so I keep most of my eyeshadow singles in this Cliona palette right here, and then I do have a couple extra singles that are in this little mini palette. I put this together for my makeup basket this month. I am trying to hit pan on one of the shades in here, and I thought I'd pick some other shades to play around with. And then I have this one of some eyeshadows that broke. I dropped a palette, one of my singles palettes, like 3 times in one day. It was so frustrating. And I ended up cracking a couple shades, particularly the Cliona shades. Those ones break pretty easily. So I have 2 Makeup Geek singles here, and I think I'm going to pass on this one. This is High Wire. It's like a silvery shimmer shade. I never wear this, and if I'm gonna wear a silvery shade, I have other ones that I prefer in my collection, so I'm gonna pass this one on. I am going to keep Daydreamer, and this is Clairvoyance by Cliona. I'm going to keep those two, but I am going to get rid of this one, not because I want to. It's a single from Cliona called Bookworm. It used to be a gorgeous greeny teal, and it broke, it shattered. I tried to repress it. I didn't do it well. It completely changed the color, and also no color comes off anymore. I can't get it to give me the same pigmentation that it used to. So this one, I'm just gonna, whoops, I'm gonna throw away because that's like the 7th time I've dropped it. Now I'm gonna take a good hard look at my single shadows and see if there's anything I can part with. I think I'm gonna get rid of this one here. This one here is supposedly called Pink Champagne from ABH, but I think they put it in the wrong pan because this is not what other pink champagnes from the brand look like. This is supposed to be like icier and more cool toned. This is pretty, but I do have other shades like it in my collection. I don't need it, so I'm gonna pass it on. And if I'm gonna go for like a pinky goldy shade, I'm gonna go for Prophecy from Cliona. That's a gorgeous pinky gold shade. I think I am gonna get rid of that Daydreamer shade from Makeup Geek. I much prefer the formula of this Cliona shade. This is in the shade Filigree. They're very similar, but they're both like silvery purple shades. And so if I'm going for that kind of shade, I'll choose the Cliona one over this, so I'll give this one away. I have two very, very similar looking shades, these two purples right here. This one is Macaroon by ABH, and this one is Double Date by ColourPop. You can see those are super similar. I think I prefer the ABH formula over the ColourPop one, so I think I'm gonna give the ColourPop one away. And I think that's everything for single shadows. All right, now let's talk about the miscellaneous stuff that I have in here. I have two pots from ABH. One is a brow pomade, the other one is a liner. I'm going to keep both of these. I have a couple eyeshadow primers. One from NYX, one from ABH, one from Makeup Revolution. I'm going to keep all 3 of these. And I have a couple mascaras. I have 3 mascaras, one from NYX, one from Urban Decay, one from Tarte. I'm going to hold on to all 3 of these. I have an eyelash glue here. I'm going to keep that for this one pair of false lashes that I own. For eyeliners, I have 2 pencil liners. They're both black. I'm going to hold on to these. One is from CoverGirl, one's from Essence, and then I have 2 liquid liners. And one of them is a black liquid liner from ColourPop. I'm going to hold on to that. And then this one's from Milani. This one I use to do freckles because it's got like a light brown color. It's still going strong. I've had this for a long time and it's still pigmented and wet, so I'm going to hold on to that. This Diamond Dust from Steel, I don't know why I put this back in. I actually used the last of it yesterday. It's all dried up, so I'm actually going to put that in my empties. I have 2 brow gels. The Essence one I've had for a long time. I'll hold on to it just because on occasion I reach for it. I haven't reached for it for a lot lately. And then the ColourPop one I actually don't really like. It's very, very white and clumpy, and it kind of makes my eyebrows look more gray. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And then I do have 4 eyebrow pens. 2 of them are in the shade Auburn, and I use that whenever I have more strawberry blonde hair or just more red in my hair. So I will hold on to those. I don't use them all the time, but they do come in handy. And then I have one in taupe and then one in ash brown. I use ash brown whenever I want my brows to be darker, and then sometimes to make the tail of my brow a little bit darker, and then taupe I use all the time. So I'm going to hold on to both of these. Okay, so that's everything for my eye products. Now let's move on to blushes and bronzers. Okay, this one's a bit of a mess. So I do have a couple products that I don't normally have. I have the Bahama Mama bronzer from The Balm, and then this like contour powder from Catrice. I actually gave these to my mom forever ago, and she recently gave them back. She wasn't using them. And I actually wanted to get the Bahama Mama again because this does have a little bit of a different undertone compared to other bronzers. For example, I'll compare it to the Balm Oliver, which is more of like a neutral toned bronzer. And if you can see, the undertones are very different. This one's kind of more like a summery bronzer. I'm wearing it today and it looks really nice, so I'm gonna hold on to this one. But I'm also gonna hold on to this bronzer because it's nice in the winter. And I did use up my Kevyn Aucoin contour powder, so this will be nice to have back in my life, so I have another cool toned contour to use. With bronzers, I don't really feel like I need to get rid of any because I do realistically go through bronzers pretty regularly. For example, this one from Pure is almost done. I'm working on that in a project pan. And then I have pan and other bronzers like this one from Marc Jacobs. Or I used to have pan, but then I had to repress it. And I have pan in this Physicians Formula one, in this Cover FX one. So it's not like I can't realistically use these up at some point. I'm gonna keep all of them. I want to keep all my blushes too. Some of them are almost done. Like these two from Flower are almost empty. And everything else I do really like. So I don't think I'm gonna get rid of anything. No, I think we're good. Okay, now for highlighters. Once again, I do have another one in here that my mom gave back to me. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. I'm wearing it today. I actually quite like it. So I have a highlighter from Wet n Wild. It was like a loose powder in the shade I'm So Lit. And I repressed it into a ColourPop container, and that's what it looks like. This is super pretty, but I also have a little bit of it in a loose powder form, and I think I'm just gonna get rid of this and keep the pressed version. And I'm gonna get rid of this pure highlighter. It's really nice, but I just have so many highlighters. I don't need this. It's not super special. So I'm going to pass this on. Same with this Over Pillow Talk highlighter. I do really like this. I've talked about it as a favorites, but after using up the Blossom Glow highlighter from Wet n Wild, I realized that I just don't prefer pinky highlighters anymore. And this one is super frosty. It's super light. And so I'm going to pass this one on, and then if I do want a pinky highlight, I do still have my pinky highlighters from ABH from the Gleam Kit, that's what it was called. I kept 2 of the highlighters from this kit, and so I have 2 pinky highlighters there, and I also have this one from Laura Geller. This is in the shade Charming Pink, and it's just a little bit less frosty, a little bit softer, and less metallic and stripey, so I'll hold on to those and get rid of Pillow Talk. Anyway, I think that's everything for highlighters. Let's do some skincare, just because I feel like I never really acknowledge this drawer in any of my makeup baskets or in any like collection videos or anything, but this is where I keep most of my skincare. I do have a big mask on top that's a gift from my friend Hannah. I am going to hold on to this, but I'm going to move it out of the way. I'm going to get rid of this SPF 50 face spray. This is definitely expired, and I also hate it. It's horrible. It's a horrible experience. It's super full of alcohol and just burns your eyes. It leaves a weird sticky residue on your face, makes your makeup melt off faster. It's just not a good product for me, so I'm going to get rid of it. And then this from Desert Essence, this is one of their hand and body lotions in Island Mango. I don't like the scent of this at all. I don't think it smells like mangoes, and I've had it forever. I just don't really like it, so I'm going to get rid of it. And I have some random stuff that I never really look at, like this Origins Clear Improvement Active Charcoal Mask. I don't ever wear charcoal masks, and I don't even know how long I've had this. I've had it for so many years, so I'm just going to get rid of this as well. But everything else I think I can keep and I'll realistically use. So that is it for my skincare declutter. Now for all of my face products. I can't really, this Tarte thing, I don't ever actually use it. I'm sure it's expired at this point, but I always keep it because I use this for like crushing powders and like pressing it down, and I don't need it for that. I have other products I can use, so I'm gonna throw this away. I go through face products pretty regularly, so I don't think I need to get rid of anything. This is stuff that I'll realistically go through at a decent pace, so I'm not going to get rid of anything else from this drawer. Okay, and lastly, I have lip products here, and I do actually have a couple that I think I'm going to get rid of. Namely, I'm going to get rid of one of my lipsticks here. This is in the shade Honey. This is like a brown peachy nude, and I just know I'm not going to use this. I really thought I was gonna come in here and get rid of some stuff, but now that I like have it on my hand and I'm looking at it, I realize I don't really have anything that I want to get rid of. I really thought I was gonna get rid of something, but yeah, I feel like I have a decent mix. Even though I do have a lot of like nude liquid lipsticks, I do plan on starting to use these as cream blushes so I can get some more use out of them. And for lip liners, I have a decent spread of different colors, and I do reach for these regularly depending on what color lip I'm going for, so I don't really need to get rid of anything. For my lipsticks, I have 2 or 3 of these that are almost empty, so I'll have fewer in here just from using them. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to get rid of any lip products. Okay, so this is everything I'm getting rid of. Not too much. I think I'm the most proud of the eyeshadow palettes. I'm glad I got them out of my collection, and I'm making room for maybe some new products to try, some new brands to try. Some of these are too old, I'm just going to throw them out, but some I'm just going to give to family and friends, or if I can donate them, I will, like the Urban Decay Born to Run palette and the Pure highlighter. Those are still very new, so I feel like I could maybe donate those. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know if I'll do a declutter anytime soon. I think this is probably my last one of the year, just because I like the rest of the products that I have, and I do try to reach for them regularly. So I think this was like my last time my last haul of the year. I love watching declutters though, so if you do declutters on your channel, or if you know someone who has really good declutter videos, please let me know. I'm always looking for new ones to watch. But in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!